I have to say there's nothing exciting in this video. This video is just what it actually takes to put a 4-post lift together in your very own shop when you've never put a 4-post lift together before. So this is just all the fun we had putting this thing together. It is long. It's not exciting. I wouldn't suggest listening to it with headphones either because we used several different microphones. Well, for something that's supposed to give me a lot more room in the shop when it's finished, this thing sure is getting in my way a lot. But I kicked the other car out, so I've got enough room. Plan now is to raise this up, let it roll over onto its side as I let it down, so that both of these will be sitting down against the ground. And I just realized I may want to let it roll onto that side because it'll sit steadier. All right, well, I measured it out. Here's the center point. Got a hydraulic cylinder here. And I'm going to guess it'll balance right about here. I'll run a strap around it to lift it. And I'm going to run straps to the end to keep this strap from taking off and going towards one end or the other and dropping the whole load. I'm going to try to stay alive today, as I do every day. It may not look like it, but I do. These straps left and right aren't going to lift any weight. They're just going to keep this centered. How many of them things does he have? I got about a dozen of them. They're very, very, very useful. I've got this strap to hold this lifting point over to this side so it'll rotate for me better. And we're going to go up and prepare to run. Always know which way you're going to run. Keep your options open. I got to get that higher than that for this to sit on. Missed it by a 1/4 inch. Still wanting to roll that way. There it goes. Woo! Shift, snap, crackle, pop. All right. Now it's on its side. Now I can take the straps loose, re-strap so I can move them one at a time. And here's the beauty of this. Once I lay this one down, it has to be laid down on that side. That is, if I keep the hydraulic unit up in that corner. I thought about putting it back in this corner where it's closer to the wall, closer to power. Yeah, we'll see. Time to unstrap, restrap, and take one of these loose. All right, we're up and over the top. What I'm going to do now is put the jack underneath of this end, set that end down over there, and then hopefully I can convince it to go past the legs. If I can't, I may have to rehook. The plan to set this one on the ground is as simple as it is crazy. It's, holy cow, earth-shattering kaboom. Well, there you have it. That's how you unload it by yourself. Now they're on the floor. I can get a jack up underneath the ends of them right here, move them around a little bit, slide them around with pry bars. Piece of cake. Now we go on with assembly. Well, let's rectify this little problem. Well, let's see if it can be done. So now all I have to do is put it all together. And there's some interesting things in the instructions that we'll get to in a little bit. All right, first part going up. Yeah, you don't have to worry about lining it up just yet.
Actually, not that bad.
No. Whoa. I got through lifting all that heavy stuff, unloading the trailer, and almost died because I tripped over a 4x4. All right.
I really hope I wasn't in the way for that.
Now I guess we can whip out some instructions and assemble some more stuff. All right, we're going to try to lift this up to the first click.
Do we want to lift it now or do we want to wait?
We got to have it up in the air to get those on top of it. And it has to be high enough to get a jack underneath of it if we put those on top of it. You know what we might do? Lift it just up high enough to put 2 4x4 blocks under it so we can put these on without having to lift them way up. And then we'll lift it up with a jack.
Good idea.
Yeah, put them all the way out on the outside edge. Shouldn't be in our way that way. Now I'm wondering how heavy this is going to be lift.
Oh! Well, the only problem with this is these
What?
things are moving. Oh, can't lift there.
I got mine.
Okay. Because every time I tried to lift mine and you lift yours, it was pivoting this out.
Oh, we had to press the... That's why I had to yank them to get them started. You have to press the lock because the lock was just below the belt. It was below the 1/4 inch thing there.
Oh, yeah, it was locked.
So... That way we can get a jack underneath if we have to. We don't have to lift these 2.5 feet in the air right yet.
Yeah.
Harbor Freight Furniture dollars for the win. That one's got welded casters. The center piece.
Yeah.
Stick one under this side, one under the other side. Should have toggled underneath there. So seven, like that. One here, one there. take all these straps off next. And then this just comes up that way. Oh, you might have to steer it a little bit.
Alright, a little more.
We don't have to be perfect yet, but
Oh, well, we are. Alright, first try.
so then we'll line them up, and once we get ready to put this together, we can tack this up to it.
Yeah.
And then push them up, click, click, each end, and then mold it all together.
Because it's going to ultimately end up resting on the first.
First click.
Jesus.
So once it's up on the first click, then it makes it
The
easier.
first click's at my knee. What's the plan on getting it to the first click?
Jack, block, jack stands, and a little bit more jack, and a little bit more jack stand. Yeah. And all you gotta do is lift it up and there you go. Whee! Clunk. Woohoo!
I didn't know which one was it going to follow.
Yeah. You never know what. Hey, almost went too far, I think.
Oh, right there.
Good? All right. All right. It's all yours. That's right. Beautiful.
Done good, little dolly. Little wheel roller.
Read and follow
Yeah.
all assembly instructions.
Yeah, they use
All right.
plenty of grease.
Now you're gonna drop your beauty in the camera and the thing for a low angle shot, or
Oh, yes.
fingers clear.
I don't know who's editing this, but I saw Dr. Pepper.
I don't know how he did that. He stole the camera, snuck off on a break, and stole the soda. All right, here's the interesting part of the instructions. Remove the top plates from the top of the columns while holding the columns while the columns are standing up. Well, the top plates are in a box when you get it. You'll need to lay the column down and remove the top plates to allow the cross rails to be slid into the columns. Slide each cross rail into the column by holding the lock lever down to allow the rail to slide past the locking positions. Now, let's go over here. All right, these are the top plates that they said you have to take off and put back in the same position. If you notice, they are left and right. You can put them on the wrong way. This hole has to be towards the middle of the lift. So this one will go on this side as this stands up, and the cable will hook into this hole. And this is the latch mechanism that they say you have to hold the latch loose so you can get that in. Problem is, this was in that box over there. So the instructions are a little bit sketchy. So anyway, you just have to grab this little guy right here and line him up in the slot down here at the bottom and slide it right into that little slot right there. Then the top plate goes on. What I've been doing, since there's no how they were in before, because that's what they tell you to do, is put them in how they were before, is I just put this nut on the top side until it's flush. Well, until it's flush with the bolt right here, and then tighten the inside bolt, put the bolts in the way the instructions say, and should be good. Alrighty, I'll take this one right here. It's gotta be picked up and all.
Oh, good.
You just gotta get that jack steered kind of coming this way. Yeah, every pass in. Alright.
Oh, like butter. Uh-oh.
That's good. That's all we needed. So now it'll stand up and then we can just kind of scooch it on there.
Pivot it forward.
Yeah.
Ready?
Yes, sir, I do believe so.
At least one of us is. And up.
Oh, right as it does it. So the scooching of this thing is going to be the fun part. That's too low. Yeah, I wouldn't do your wrist. I'll do that, but I wouldn't have you do that. It's you're going to pop that wrist.
I don't think you're doing it either.
Huh? I'm almost on the mark.
Yeah.
I felt that in my knee a little bit. Nowhere else but my knee. Watch your hands.
Yep. You ready, Mark?
Pretty damn close. Alright. Now the calculation is, what do we do next? Cables, I guess, probably. Alright, one thing that the instructions say is what? Oops, I screwed up. That cable goes to the other end. One thing that the instructions says you got to lay out the cables and figure out which cable's going where, and then thread them in through here. Well, they're already threaded in here. Maybe they made the instructions before they started doing this with the cables, but that one goes up that side. That one is for the other end. This one is for the other end. I just drug it halfway out of there. I don't know why I thought I needed two cables for this side. And then I gotta go to the other end and drag them out the other end. The other end. And its nuts are hung up. And that'll go that way, and that way. Oh, and one other thing. It says to extend that actuator about 18 inches underneath it here before you flip it over, and I did do that. And all you got to do is grab it, pull it out. And now I see why it's got to be extended about 18 inches, so you've got some slack to work with when you run the cables up the legs. This is kind of tangled up back here. All right, that's good. She's clear. Yep. There's room to work in there. So I think what we're going to do next is we're going to move these into position and get it close to square and just set one bolt in one hole, and then we'll square it up. Raise. All right. Our goal, whether we choose to accept it or not, is to raise this up. bring it up a little bit more. Holy shit.
Right there, actually. I'm pretty sure.
Pretty damn close to right there, yeah.
There you go.
Oh, I'm off a ways over here, ain't it? Whoa! This way, nothing falls off and kills us. Up and away. If it seems to be mine, just let me know.
Maybe on the left.
It's always exciting when you hear stuff fall, right?
Yeah. Wound up on that left side. Oh, there.
It's going to try to bind a little bit now because we're lifting one end and not the other. This is still fairly loose. Still moving up?
On that side. That side's like this now.
Okay. 1 second. I wonder if we'll make it that high without having to
We're almost there.
raise the other end. Oh, yeah. We are? I hope we are. We gotta be really close by now.
Yeah, we're.
All right, hold on. Maxed out on the jack. That's the top, yeah. Just set it up underneath there. Bring it down and
Where?
we are,
Okay, I see the clicker.
yeah, we're 3
We're
inches
almost
from
there.
it. This side slow in.
As I clicked in.
Which side clicked in?
That side.
That side did? There it goes.
Now what?
Let her down, she should set on.
She's sitting on her own 2 legs.
She's sitting on 2 out of 4. Woohoo!
And this is the moment that you take the time to tell everybody in the shop, stay away from this area because this could fall over.
Could go from ugly to ugly real fast.
Yeah, I don't feel like going to the hospital.
And of course, this side doesn't even move at all.
Same side.
I think we're off center when we're lifting.
Maybe a little bit, but not much. Easy. Come on, viewers, lift. Use your muscles. We need you guys.
Yeah, we're off center because as soon as I let go, it drops below that one.
All right, you guys aren't helping. We'll be back.
All right, now back the other way.
that's how you get your jack out.
Line up on
So you might be asking yourself, what are you doing?
Huh?
I thought you already moved them. I thought you already adjusted it to the 18 inches it tells you.
Well, because it lied, you have to have it all the way extended to get the cables to the top. I don't know what the 18 inch, maybe it was 81 inches and they did a misprint. Yeah. They reached about this high with 18 inches. We had to get it way up there. I'm no better at mine. Once again, there's nothing to find.
Right.
Shouldn't have to pull very hard on this one, it's just a matter of mine won't take. Might not be anyway.
No, it's called something.
Tied in a knot. I was gonna get him a creeper, but he said I got one. Oh, isn't that comfy?
Yeah.
Craftsman's going to start using that design. All right, I'm going to go back over here and pull on this a little bit.
All right.
I'm stuck. I don't know what's happening.
All right, you should be clear.
Watch your hands.
That's it.
Max out. That should be it.
Yep. It was curled in a little loop.
All right, so now basically we just take the guts off the end of it, back this little bolt out right here because it keeps the cable from jumping off the pulley in there. Throw that on the floor, case it around for a while. Oh, this could get interesting. I could have another situation developing here. There's the cable. Okay, there we go. And so that's where that bolt was at, right in here, coming through here. It keeps this cable on once you get it on. And this cable goes on this side of that pulley. This little pulley's function is, as long as there's tension on this cable, it keeps your secondary lock unlocked. But if this cable ever goes slack, it'll slam that lock shut down there. i.e., if the cable ever broke. Look at there. For right now, you're just putting the cables into the holes up top. And if I step on this and it collapses, we did something wrong. Make sure you at least got that nut all the way down on there so it's flush. And that's it, times 4. Oh, and close cover. This unit is supposed to slide, and I guess I'm as ready as I'm ever going to be. I'm going to stick a couple bolts in here. All right, so we're going to stand this up. We're going to put these right in these slots right here. Easy. All right, I will.
You got it? I gotta line them up.
I will figure out all that. I got 2 handles right here.
Yep. To the left. Uh-oh. That's not right.
What?
Okay, there we go.
You ready?
Yeah. They look like they were both trying to go this way.
All right, so now don't,
That one down just a little bit
don't
more.
tighten them at all yet. So the spacing is wild. I mean, there's holes everywhere except where we need them. So it looks like we're gonna have to raise it up a bit to get into the bottom slots. Because
Yeah, I'm
there's a
not
slot there,
wondering
there's a hole
if
there.
maybe
Wait
we
a
could
minute.
go through this hole that's right below it.
But I like just hanging it on there like that. There's now.
Oh yeah. No, I'm talking about on the actual unit. There's a hole right below the slots that are going this way.
Yeah.
They'll move it down or move it up just that little bit more. But I don't think that'll give us enough
Well, here's what
to
I'm
get
going
to
to do.
these slots.
I'm going to try to get this guy to stand in it. Yeah.
There's nothing there.
There will be in a second. As soon as you lift up on this just a little bit.
Ready?
Up, 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 up. There you go. There you are. Tink. Do one on the other side. All right. That's a universal bracket on a universal pump.
On a universal bracket.
And at least 4 holes line up. I mean, what more can you say? I got mine snug, so it's not going to move. Woo! Oh man, the world's most valuable nut. And it's gone.
It's gone.
It's got to be. It's still in the garage. I know it's still in the garage.
Yeah, I know where it went in at.
All right.
Nothing happened. I don't know what you're talking about.
Hook up some hydraulic lines. Fill it with fluid.
Tighten it down.
Somebody. They didn't tighten it all the way. Or they did that deliberately so it wasn't. Oh, okay, yeah, they did it deliberately.
So they can package it. Sometimes they're not all retarded.
Oh, yeah. Good air. I'll tighten that up with the appropriate wrench later. And, yeah. This line hooks to here and here and goes down to there and goes through there and piece of cake.
Cake.
Pull off some cover plates, front and back. Run these nice long rods in there. Basically have to do the same thing with the front rod. And we slide our way under through here. Slide this through, catching these little loops as you go. There's 2 for the back one. There's only 1 on the front one. And then put this little thing on. And both sides are right-handed threads, so once you get the forward end run in a ways into the nut, then you just run the back end in. And according to the instructions, what you're looking for is that just to be able to move freely. A little package of bolts with lock nuts on them. And bolt these together. tighten both of those up. Oh, and as you're putting these together, these rod ends should be adjusted in and out on these threads so that they just drop into place so that you're not having to fight them. And then use a wrench to make sure you hold the rod end square so that it's not binding on the bearing right here either way. Hey, and that bolt didn't tighten on the bottom. There, it tightens. Anyway, make sure that rod end's parallel with the bolt. And snug these up a little bit. And once you've got that done on the other end, then we'll come back under here and we'll tighten these two nuts. And this is going to be impossible to do with the camera in my hand. What you want to make sure as you're tightening them that these rods don't twist. Being as there's weight on the lock mechanism, they should not twist. So we will check this out without the camera rolling because I can't do it with the camera in my hand. I did that with a wrench on both ends, and like I said, you want to make sure they don't rotate, especially considering the fact that if you do manage to rotate them, I mean with the weight on the clamps it's almost impossible, but doing it this way you are underneath of this thing. Anyway, it all worked out well. Now to get the hydraulics all hooked up. Pretty simple, just one line. Make sure you check every fitting that they already have put together because they're not tight. Anyway, I've turned this hose around. I put the 90 down here and I went to my local hydraulic supply place and found this 90 so that I can get this hose up a little bit more off the ground and route it this way around instead of having it run straight out and loop around over here. I am going to test this and see how it works, but I think it should be all right. Might add a clamp right here to hold up the extra slack, keep it from being on the floor. But now I need to tighten everything up, fill this with hydraulic fluid, and see if it moves. And put the covers back on. Alright, hydraulic lines are tight, the vent line's hooked up. Pour in a couple of gallons of magic juice. See if this thing will go up and down. Let's disconnect the vent line so it can vent. Oh yeah, going in much quicker. cables are adjusted per the instructions. You can see the difference in the length of them, but that's why they got the threaded rod on them. I reset these so that there's a couple threads through each one of the nuts. Makes them a little bit stronger than being flush. They're all set at exactly the same height. All this was done according to the instructions. Measure and adjust. Back it up a little bit because that door will still swing open. If it's down, you don't have much space to walk through, but when it's up, those are over at the top of your head, so it works. Does exactly what I wanted it to. All right. May have to move this little storage shelf, but I mean, there's enough room to get through here if you're not real wide. Well, now all I got to do is move this thing on top of it. Move all this crap over here into my new work area. Well, it's not easy, but you can do it pretty much with a little bit of help from one person. All right, wrap up a few little loose ends here. Got two of them put together. One of these was bent in. I had to just stand on it over that 2x4 to bend it back out. Nothing too complicated here, just putting in bolts, nuts, and washers. Their glue is not too good on some of these. This one's fallen off, this one fell off, this one's fallen off. That one's tight. All four of them on the other two casters are tight. I don't know, must have been a new guy doing this. Well, now you know exactly what it takes to put a 4-post lift together. If you watched it to the end, then you know how long and boring it was. But anyway, thanks for watching. Maybe I'll do some videos that are actually interesting at some point in time. Oh yeah, that rolls fairly easy. Not that I've got very far to move it in this shop.